Good morning, student. Myself, Professor Taval Chandarana, and we are continue on unit number 1, System Vulnerability Scanning Overview. As previous video lecture, we are discussing a practical aspect, lots of tools through which we can easily understand what is a vulnerability, how we can scan our computer system regarding a vulnerability, how we are scanning our network with against a vulnerability, and how a port redirected and forwarded with different tools. So guys, we will discuss a different practical aspect through my video lectures. Today we will discuss some another tools which is based on a network recognitions, through which we can understand a two different tool known as Nmap and DHCP Nmap, or a system tool. Means in this particular video lecture we are focusing on a two different tools which is really helpful to identify a network recognitions. For this we can understand a two tools known as Nmap, DHC, Mmap. So we will start with the network recognitions tools known as Nmap. First we understand that what is Nmap. A standard name of Nmap is nothing but the network mapper. Guys, it is really helpful to understand Nmap tool for a practical aspect as well as a exam point of view, because there are the lots of questions may be asked in your final exam, which should be really helpful to understand how Nmap is work, what are the different flags, what are the different options for the Nmap, and how a practically Nmap will work. So guys, we will start with the basic theoretical concept. Nmap is nothing but the network mapper is a free and the open source utility for the network explorations and the security auditing. On a single and a sweet line, we can easily understand that what is a network mapper and why we are just focusing to understand a network mapper, because it is a free and open source, as well as they can provide a two different and really important aspect on a cyber security world known as a network explorations as well as security auditing. Many systems and a network administrator also find it useful for the tasks such as network inventory, managing service, upgrade schedules, and a monitoring host or a service uptimes, because there are the lots of functionality and features they can provide with help of Nmap tools. Nmap use a raw IP packets in a novel way to determine what hosts are available on a network, what services like application name and versions those hosts are offering, what operating system like OS version and they are running, what type of packet filters or we can say a firewall are used, and dozens of other characteristics. So guys, on a third note, we can easily understand that why we are focusing on Nmap on a theoretical concept as well as on a practical aspect, because there are the lots of things which we are really understand before start a cyber security, then all the functionality which should be part, or we can say all the services should be part of Nmap tool. And guys, it is a free and the open source utility. So I think you are just focus on this particular video lectures to understand how a network mapper is work. It was designed to rapidly scan larger networks but works fine against the single host. It works on a multiple system on a single time, as well as they can work on a larger network, but the exact output and accurate output user want to scan a particular system with a single instance of time. Means if you want to get a accurate result, then you just scan a single system on a single time, but they can able to perform a larger network scanning. Nmap runs on all the major computer operating system, and both the consoles and a graphical versions are available. So guys, there are the lots of things which we are understand on an Nmap, and all the concept it should be really best one, because they are using all the computer system, they are working on all the operating system, and they are based on a console as well as a graphical version. So if we are not remembering all the commands, then they can also perform on a GUI base. So it's really easy to useful for the end users and beginners for the cybersecurity worlds. Now we are discussing a different flags, or we can say TCP flags, which should be part of a previous tool which we are discussing right now, known as Nmap. Standard TCP communications are controlled by the flags in a TCP packet's header. Following are the list of TCP connection flags known as acknowledgement. Before we'll start with the TCP connection flag, I will just remind you a TCP connection is work on a three-way handshake protocol. Without any kind of acknowledgement or a request response message, a communication will never be start. So that's why we are just understand a TCP flag concept of a cybersecurity on a particular Nmap tool. Acknowledgement flag, it's used to acknowledge a packet which are successfully received by the host. The flag is set if the acknowledgement number field contain a valid acknowledgement number. Means it is nothing but to provide a response against the successful delivery packet. Second, known as urgent URG acknowledgement, or we can say urgent flag. A data inside a segment with URG1 flag, it's forwarded to the applications layer immediately, even if there are more data to be given to the applications layer, because if your packet have set URG1 because it is a most prior packet. That's why if there are the lots of packet, then also we can directly send to the applications layer, because if any of the packet it mentions a 1 means it is urgent packet. It is used to notice that a receiver to process the urgent packet before processing all other packets. So we briefly says that if any one packet have a URG1, then it is the most prior packets to transmitting your data on a applications layer. Third flag, it is known as push PHS. Transport layer sets PSH is equal to 1 and immediately sends the segments to the network layer as soon as it's receive a signal from the applications layer. So guys, if some of the packets PHS sends a 1, or we can say set to 1, then the applications layer directly send a packet to the network layer, because they can send a priority to 1. Receiver transport layer on a seeing a PHS1 immediately forward the data to the applications layer. So it is a vice versa process to transferring your packet to the applications layer to a transport layer and transport layer to the applications layer. But guys, we just focused on a 1 and 0. If PSH is equal to 0, then it should never be a most prior concept or prior packet. But whenever a network concept PHS find a 1, they can transfer directly your forwarded packet to the application to transport and transport to the applications layer. Next one, it is reset or RST flag. It is used to terminate the connection if the RST sender feels something is wrong with the TCP connections, or that the conversation should not be exits. Means in between your connection, if some of the flags will be set with the RST1, then your connection is maybe a wrong, or maybe some packet is missing, or maybe a connection it should be a terminated case. So it can get a send from the receiver sides when a packet is sent to the particular host that was not expecting it. Means any of the technical aspect or any of the some issues which is part of a network connections at that time, a particular packet with the RST sent from the host to the network, so the connection may be terminated. Next one, it is a synchronizations, SYN, because your message should be a lots of content, and for this, if we want to transferring your message in form of dividing a different packet, so at the end of receiver end, a synchronization must be required. Means a collections of all packet and generate the original message. So synchronization, it is most important concept on a network point of view. It is used to first steps to connection establishment phase or three-way handshake process between the two hosts. It is the most prior case whenever we are connecting a computer system with help of three-way handshake process. only the first packet from the sender as well as the receiver should have this flag set. This is used for the synchronizing sequence number, as we previously discussed that your message is a longest one and your message is divided into the different packet. So end of the receiver end, we must be retrieve original message from the different packet. So at that time synchronizations is really requirement. And how we synchronize packet, or we can say divide packets based on a synchronized sequence number, means to tell that other hand which sequence number they should accept. Like I will just give you one example. Your message is divided in a 10 different packet. They can deliver with a different path. So for the end of sites, if they're getting all the 10 packet on a different, not in sequence manner, but for that they want to retrieve original message, then they can combine all the 10 packet in form of sequence. So based on the identifications of sequence number, they combine all the packets, or we can say synchronize all the packet with help of synchronized number. Next and the last one, it is a finish. Name itself suggests that FIN flag, it is used to request to connections terminated, because a client and server transmitting all the data which should be requirement. After the communication is closed, they are sending a FIN message, or we can say FIN flags for the terminations connections. When there is a no more data from the senders, it requests for the connections terminations. This is the last packet sent by the senders. I will just remind you that whenever a FIN packet is initiated from the sender side, it is the last message from the sender end. It's free the receiver resources and gracefully terminate the connections. If a sender not send, or they can miss this FIN packet, then connection is always be a communications or in form of connecting. If they want to free with a particular connections, then must be send a sender to send a FIN packet to the receiver. If it is successfully delivered, then your connection is successfully terminated. Now we see how a three-way handshake protocol is work. There are the two things which we are discussing on the particular screen: a TCP conversation with help of three-way handshake. On a left hand side, they must be required for the connections. If client want to communicate with the server, then they perform a synchronizations, client to server sides. Server responds with the synchronizations and acknowledgement packet. If client receive a synchronizations with acknowledgement packet from the server end, then a client send a acknowledgement packet, means they can receive a successful message. And after successing 3 communications flags, a connection will be establishment between a client and server. It is just initiate process for a communications or with the connections. Now a communication will be started. They can send all the data which should be transmitting from the client and server sides. After successfully send all the data, and if when there is a no more data from the sender side, then a disconnection process is initiated. For that we can just understand FIN flags. For the client side, they just transmitting FIN bit or FIN flag to the server. If server responds a acknowledgement with the FIN flags, then a client send acknowledgement to the server, and after 3 successfully transmitting message, connection is closed. So guys, it is really easy to understand that how a TCP conversation will be worked with help of different flags, and what is the requirement to understand if your computer system is connected or require 2 connection with the remote server with help of TCP. So I think and I hope you are understand what are the different TCP flags and how they are communicated with another server. Now we are understand a basic command which should be available in Nmap with a command line syntax. So the first command start with the initiate $nmap. Scan type, it is based on user defined choice. Options, it is also part of user defined choice, and the target specifications through which they can scan a particular system. Now we understand a different scan types, options and target specifications. Target specifications can be host name or IP address. It's really easy to understand that if we want to communicate our system, that we just mention a localhost. If we want to connect a remote server and if we want to scan a particular remote server, then we just mention a target specification against a IP address of remote services. Then the output of Nmap is a list of scan target which should be mentioned by the target specifications with additional information on each depending on the options used. What are the different options available, which we are discussing our next slides. Port table is the main information if Nmap, then table lists the port number and a protocol, service name and a state. So as a brief, we just identified that the output of Nmap scan is based on a port number, protocol and the different service which should be available on a particular port number with help of protocols. And the state is either open, filter or closed or unfiltered. So on a particular state, there are the 4 different options available. Based on a different option, we can easily identify that a particular port and a particular service is a open port, it is a filter or we can say secure, it should be a close means a communication never be establishment, or it should be unfiltered means if we want to communicate with this particular state, then our computer system is not a secure. So guys, we just focus on the state of a particular service port. First one, a open state means that and the application on a targeted machine is listening for the connections and packet on the port. As the name itself suggests that it is open, means a particular port number can be able to listening a connection or a packet. Second, a filter means that a firewall, as previously we discussed, it is a secure of port number. Filter or other network obstacles is blocking the port so that Nmap cannot tell whether it is open or closed. Because on a base level, if some of the port is filter port, then tool never can help to identify that a particular port number is open or a closed. But they just provide the identification this particular port is filtered, means it is a secure port. Next one, it is a closed. A name itself suggests that a closed means a port have no application listening on them. Through there could open up anytime. Maybe a particular time this particular port number is closed, but after of this particular, or we can say after some times, maybe the particular port is maybe open. But right now at the scan time, if you found at the end of results, if a particular port number with a closed state, at that time we just identified that particular port is closed for this current time. And the last one, port are classified as undefined when they are response to the names props, but the Nmap cannot determine whether they are open or closed. As we previously discussed that if a port is filter, it means that a particular port number it's a secure, but Nmap never provide it should be open one or a closed one. Same way, it is undefined or unfiltered means your port is not a secure, but Nmap tools never help to identify that a particular port is open or not. Open port means a service process is listening at the port. The OS receive a packet arriving at this port and pass the message to the service process. If the OS receive a synchronize at the open port, I think now you know about what is synchronized packet, because as previously we discussed a three-way handshake process, which we are really important to understand whenever a computer system is connected using a TCP protocol. This is the first packet of the three-way handshake protocol we discussed in our previous slides. What is closed port? No process is listening at the port. If the OS receive a synchronize at a closed port, and RST is sent, because as I mentioned RST, as we discussed in a TCP flag RST is nothing but a connections terminations packet. Means you just retrieve after some times. It is a reset flags. Filter means a packet is filter listening at the port of OS. It is open or not, they can not mentioned by the Nmap. Now we are discussing a different Nmap options. On your screen there are the lots of options which we'll discuss on this particular screen. I will not explain all the things because there are the lots of 11 options, but just mentions that you just remember if as a options you just set dash small as capital S, then it's become a work as a TCP synchronized scan. If you mention SW, then it is a window scan. If you mention SA, it is acknowledgement scan. SL means a listen scan. Means based on a user's choice, you have total 11 options for Nmap tool scanning. Based on options, you can use a single options, you can use a multiple options on a single scan, and based on a mentions option, you can getting the final output. So you just remember as much as possible different options which is part of Nmap tool. Now we just focus on Nmap timing and performance options. Guys, this is really useful to identify that what are the timings and performance available options in a particular tool. Start with the T0, T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. How we are using this particular command, I will just mention with the example. Define Nmap as a prefix. If your operating system have an Nmap tool, then they can use with this below command. Nmap, then your host IP address, then start with the dash T0. Paranoid 0, instructions detection system evasions. Intrusions detection system evasions. If you mention a T0, means your system want to detect intrusions or viruses, or is mentioned with paranoids. If you mention T1, it is sneaky intrusion detections evaluations. Then if you want to mention a T2, then polite 2 slows down the scan to use the less bandwidth and use the less target machine resources. Guys, you just remember those things. If you want to perform the practical things, then a second column as an example, I will just mention that how to use this command. Nmap, IP address and options. What is T3? Normal 3 nodes, which is default speeds. If you want to less speeds, then use a 2. If you want to aggressive natures as an output, then you just mention a T4. And the last, what is T5? It is in sense a 5 speed scan. As an antivirus, we know that if you want to speed scan, at that time we just scanning a new file which is available on a computer system. If you perform the same task with help of Nmap, you just mention a T5. Assume you are on the extraordinary fast network. So guys, those are Nmap timing and performance option which we want to discuss on this particular slides. I hope you are understand how to use it and what are the different options available for the different tasks. I will just mention example how to use, and if you are using these particular nodes, then what was the actual output. Now a second and last tool which should be discussed on this particular video lecture, it is known as THC AMAP. It is the another version of Nmap known as applications mapper. THC AMAP is nothing but the applications mapper is another excellent tool more towards the banner grabbing and a protocol detections than OS fingerprinting. What is banner grabbing and protocol detections? If you have any doubt regarding a banner grabbing, then please watch my unit number 1 video number 5. It's really helpful to identify basic terminology against the banner grabbing. So this particular THC AMAP, or we can say applications mapper, is really useful for banner grabbing and protocol detections. AMAP is the next generation scanning tool for the pen testers. As previously in my previous video lecture, we are discussing particular tool for penetration tool known as NCAT. It attempts to identify applications even if they are running on a different port than normals. It also identified the non-ASCII based applications. This is the achieved by the sending triggers packet. It is just a packets through which we can just identify a particular request and response should be happen, or a particular host or a particular computer system is available on network or not. Means a particular computer system is able to define a particular response against a particular request. So for that we just broadcasting a triggering packets and looking up the response in a list of responding string. AMAP is a tool for determining what application is listening on a given port. So in a brief, you just mention this single line to understand why we are using applications mapper. Guys, if we are using a applications mapper, then they provide a which applications or what kind of application is working on a particular host on a particular port number. So we can easily find that how many ports are available and on which port number which kind of services is running on. THC means nothing but the hacker's choice. Most of the port scanner assume that if a particular port is open, then the default application for that port must be present. As previously we discussed, there are the 4 different stage: open, close, filter and unfiltered ports. So I will not discuss on a brief on a detail what is a open port. AMAP probes these ports to find out what is really running on that particular port. Because I will just give you one example. If you start a XAMPP server on a Windows operating system, then if you are running on Apache system, then they can directly register or directly perform the services which is available on Apache. They can use a port number 80 or maybe 8080. If you are running a SQL server, then they can directly register a SQL service on port number 3306. So guys, it is just a basic example that how a particular service is register or request a particular port number through which a operating system can provide a request on response on a particular number. What is port number? It is nothing a one unique identity through which a particular services is identified by the users by the operating system. So it is really useful to understand what is a port number and how a banner grabbing or port detection system is useful in a cybersecurity world. And for this we just use a THC AMAP, or we can say applications mapper. Now guys, we just focus on a different options which available, or we can say different mode which available on a applications mapper. There are the 3 different options, or we can say 3 different mode: A, B and P. If we mention A mode, then the map applications, or we can say A is nothing but the map applications, send triggers and analyze the response. It is a default one. All the options can be used in this mode, but we can say that if we mention these particular options, then it's work as a map application and it be a default one. Now user want to change a particular setting, then they have 2 different options known as B and P. What is B? Just a grab banners, do not send a triggers. Means as a options, if a user do want to send a trigger packets, then at that time they just mention -B. Only a few command line options are used from the set when the run is mode. They are make a below as a banner. And last one, if user want to set a -P, then no banner application stuffs. Means be a full connected port scanner. Only a few command options are used for the set where the run is mode. Means your running scanning is available with help of application mapper. If user want to scan a particular system with help of -P option, at that time we are full connected system. We can say a dedicated line, or we can say a TCP connections. They are make below as a port scan. So guys, it is the basic thing which we want to understand regarding Nmap and AMAP. I hope you are clear, or I hope you just understand a basic thing which we are discussing in this particular video lecture. If you have any doubt regarding anything, please watch one or more 2 times of this particular video lecture and try to understand what we are discussing in this particular video lecture, because it is really important to understand what is Nmap, what are the different options, how three-way handshake will be helpful to TCP connection, and how Nmap is differentiate with the AMAP. Guys, it is the thing which we are discussing for the today's video lecture. I hope you are enjoying. Thank you so much.